everybody. Welcome back to As the Pages Turn podcast. And this is going
Welcome
to be real
back.
quick because we have a live performance on TT that we'll be uploading probably in a few days or a week, however long it takes us. We're going to be doing with Mama D, who's a book talk influencer. Right now, we're just doing a real quick, talk about a few things that have happened. So this is kind of our entertainment podcast thing today.
Yeah, we get to relax and be
So
entertained.
yeah, we're not, somewhat entertained. Some of it's kerfuffly, but it's actually just mostly amusing. So I think we just needed a break from book and politics, and we just needed a break. So some of
Well, this
this is
isn't a full break
related,
from politics. It's a
but
break-ish from politics.
breakish. It's a break. We're breaking-ish. Not Breaking Bad, it's Breaking-ish. So today we're going to talk about basically two interrelated things. We're going to talk about the Stephen Colbert cancellation, late show cancellation, and we're going to talk about kind of the reacting to that, which then leads to the South Park stuff. So we're going to start off. So, if you haven't heard, if you've been under a rock lately, the late show. Well, I should start before it because it didn't really start with that, Crystal.
Yeah.
What it started with was Stephen Colbert was on vacation for a while, came back, had a little mustache thing going on, which was adorable, and decided to do his first show back about, this settlement that had happened between Paramount and the government. And basically, it was I think it was like $16 million, and Paramount, because the Trump and them sued Paramount, or I don't know if it was slander, I don't know which thing, because they sued like 50 people.
I
Honestly,
don't
I
know, but
can't
he's
even
suing
keep
all
track.
forms of media networks, so who knows?
Yeah, because he don't like that they talk shit about him doing the
Yep.
shit he does. So
Unlike
consequences,
literally
reactions.
every other politician, he has a very thin skin.
Very well, dementia. Anyways,
He had it before he even got
personal
dementia.
opinion. Yeah, that's true. So Paramount had been sued, and everybody was trying to tell Paramount, all these other ones, to keep resisting, don't give it, because literally the thing they were suing for, which I think was like over 60 minutes over an interview where he made himself look bad. Everybody was like, "There's no means to this. Like the court's not going to decide for him." Well, Paramount decides that they don't want to deal with it because somehow we're afraid of this government. So they're going to settle. So they settle because they have this deal, right? There's this deal that they want to push through. I forget the exact particulars, but basically there's this deal that they want the government to
It
okay.
was something about a merger.
Company, yeah, it's a company merger with I forget the other thing, the other company, but they're
Me
trying to
too,
do
and I
this
just looked
merger,
at
and
it twice.
they have to get the okay of the government because it's one of those things which kind of butts up against monopolies, which a lot of companies have been doing for years. Companies still have to be careful about certain mergers because if you have too much media stuff under one umbrella, you're cutting out the market, like you're making it hard for other people to get in. So they have to have the government's okay, right? Okay. So Paramount, and then Trump, knowing that they have this merger coming up, pulls his shenanigans, his illegal bullshit shenanigans. He's mad about they said this, who said what. So he sues them, and they decide they're going to settle out of court and give him $16 million, which is basically the official term for it is a bribe. Oh, sorry, settlement, but it's
Yeah, that is
basically a
basically what
bribe.
it was.
Basically a bribe. So Colbert calls this out because Colbert is, let's be real, Stephen Colbert is very respected among media figures. He's been doing the Late Show for what, 10 or 11 years? He's been doing it for quite a while. And before him, the Late Show had David Letterman. Stephen Colbert has made it his own. He's very good about trying to call people out but being respectful. And he has a wide platform he has a lot of support. He has people who are liberal supporters. He has conservative supporters. And this is actually because he doesn't, one of the things, and I think this is something a lot of people respect about him, is he is religious, he's Catholic, and he's very respectful. He will make fun a little bit at things, but he also is very out there with, his faith, how he is faithful to his religion. And he tries to kind of uphold to the tenets while still calling out kind of some of the, the hypocriticalness of something. So he's very, he has a very good sweet spot with a lot of people where he, hits that right tone for them. And so he kind of called out the fact that, oh, they got 60, they bribed the government $16 million. So Stephen was like, for $16 million, I'll shut up about a lot of stuff. Hey, give it to me. Like he was kidding.
Yeah,
2 or 3 days
I'd probably be
after
quiet for
that,
5 minutes if I got that kind of money. I'm not the one who can be bought off
exactly.
completely still.
Right? For that money, we could shut up for a few minutes. So Stephen Colbert joked about it, and literally 3 days later, Paramount announces that they are not only canceling Stephen Colbert, so his contract ends at the end of May, and he's been hugely successful. He has massive online support, media, like they have the rankings. Okay, he has the award, and Paramount said, "Oh no, not only are they just they're not renewing his contract, they are canceling the entire Late Show that has been on air for what 40, 50 years. Johnny Carson, David Letterman, like it has been a household name for years. You don't get that kind of brand loyalty overnight. So
Yeah, it's like
they're
a show
canceling
that is
all of
a
it.
huge staple when you think about it. It has been there for a long time.
It has for so long. And so they decided they're going to cancel it and it's like, are you for real? Are you for real? Okay. So it was a whole thing. So now we are in this thing where now people are reacting to this and people are pissed.
Well,
People
I'd be
are
pissed
pissed,
too. Well, what am
Crystal.
I talking about? Be pissed too. I am. I like that show. And it was
Mhm.
canceled for completely petty reasons.
So there's a lot of commentary, like all the late night show. Let me tell you, I have not seen late night hosts so pissed. They are livid because here's the thing: is then Paramount. So a lot of people started calling Paramount out. Like 2 seconds later, they were like, "So what? He makes the joke about you, and you're gonna like end the president, and you guys are just gonna give in? Like what the f? Like is this deal that important to compromise your integrity, right?" And basically, Paramount then tried to say, oh, it's a financial decision. And then when that didn't work, then they tried to leak that, oh, the show was costing them $40 million.
It
That's
was
why
not.
they did it. But nobody believes them. Nobody believes them because everybody's literally like, there are podcast people who could do this show for like 50 million less than what you just said. There's
And
no way that
technically,
show
if
is costing
anything,
people
The
$40
Late
million.
Show was one of the network's highest earners. So don't tell us it wasn't making money.
Mhm.
People have looked up the numbers. It was earning money.
It was. And it had a lot of like not just brand loyalty support, but there's a lot of people who love Stephen Colbert. They love, let's be real, this is shitty times right now, right? We are going through a timeline that like I think if we all voted, we'd get the fuck out of.
Yeah, I think I
Honestly,
told you this story, but one time I saw a Cybertruck and I said, that thing looks like we living in apocalyptic times. And my brother looked at me and said, what are you talking about? We are in apocalyptic times. That's how bad it is.
I know. And so, we're so fed up. And one of the few ways who can watch the news anymore? I don't. I watch it through comedy because who can handle some of these headlines of like, oh, the government's basically suspending due process. Anybody who's brown, like, what the fuck? And so the
Yep.
only way to deal with that stuff is to watch Stephen Colbert or Jimmy Kimmel or Jimmy Fallon, like watch these Seth Meyers, watch these shows to kind of try to get the news and have a laugh at the same time. So there's a lot of
Yeah.
people and plus he's interviewed how many people, Crystal? Hundreds of people.
He has interviewed a
So
lot of people, and it's also good because, yes, he's a comedian, but he also tries to get the facts out there, and he's willing to
mhm,
ask harder questions of politicians. He doesn't just
yes,
fold with everything.
agreed. And so there's a lot of people who love him. So there was a lot of backlash. Then Paramount tried to leak this. This didn't work. It's still pretty much people are convinced that he was fired because he made this joke and he kind of called them out for trying to pay off the government to like let them get their deal through.
Yeah.
Then Crystal, I'm gonna let you talk about this next because I think you probably studied this more. I hadn't even seen I saw bits and pieces. So you talk about this was part of the reaction that happened.
Well, the reaction is he made a joke out of that whole deal, like we were talking about. He talked about and made a joke out of it. And the network's reaction, like we were saying, was to cut it and say it wasn't earning any money, which was a bold-faced lie. And to be honest with you, I feel that Stephen Colbert knew that there was a chance that he would get
Yeah.
canceled if he said it, and what would happen would happen. But he may have not expected them to wipe out the whole show, but he probably just expected at worst
So,
they would fire him. But at the same time, I don't think he was really hard surprised by it. And, it has
yeah.
seemed since the announcement of the Late Show going away completely has happened, it seems that he's going scorched earth on them. Combined, Jon Stewart has also chimed in and is fully going scorched earth on Paramount for
Mhm.
this nonsense.
And then South Park.
Yeah.
What happened on
Oh,
South
and
Park, Crystal?
yeah, okay. South Park
They did theirs
later.
in reaction to him.
Yeah, but South Park, okay, with South Park, there was a lot with this Paramount deal because their latest season actually got held up via this whole thing. I can't remember who Paramount was trying to do the merger with, which bothers me because I have looked at that 15 times. Actually, I'm trying to remember. It's something dance. What was it? Something dance. Anyway, I'm going to look it up and actually I'm going to flash it. People, I'm flashing it
It's
above me right
Skydance.
now.
I just
Thank
remembered
you.
it's Skydance. Yeah.
Yes, Paramount was doing
I
the
know. I was
merger
trying to
with
remember too.
Skydance. And so Paramount and Skydance were doing this deal, and I believe it was Skydance or anybody who held the deal up and everything. And Trump was involved with that, as you were talking about earlier. And we're holding things up that caused South Park's latest season to get delayed. And South Park, the creators are so not extremely petty. And so,
They are petty bitch. I love them. They are the
yeah,
pettiest of
they are
bitches.
extremely
They go
petty.
after everybody.
Yeah, because I actually loved what they did because obviously they were pissed. All of this stuff happened, but in the end, I believe they got them to sign over $1 billion deal for 5
They did.
seasons.
Yep.
So,
They made
yeah.
sure. What I love is that they made sure to get that check before they went off. I love that. I
Well, now
fucking
they're
love
in a
that.
position because I'm about to get to the episode, but now they are in a position where if Paramount cancels them, now Paramount apparently has been sued by other things beside this and that whole settlement they did with Trump.
Yeah.
If
Hmm.
they go and throw South Park away, they are going to practically bankrupt the company in a way that they probably can't crawl out of. So they're in a precarious situation, and the creators of South Park know how much power they have. So, as many of you probably
Yep.
know, South Park creators went scorched earth on Donald Trump and their parent company because they made fun of the Paramount deal and Donald Trump in the most humiliating and slap you in the face way.
I loved it. When I heard about it, I just started. Also, but here's the funny thing, and I think we briefly touched on this before. So in this episode, right, they basically compare him to. So if you don't remember the first movie they did, what is it? Was it the South Park Bigger and Better? They
I
literally
honestly don't
had this whole.
remember.
Yeah, the first movie they had this whole thing about where Saddam Hussein was in the AG double hockey sticks because I don't know if YouTube likes that word. And basically Saddam Hussein and the devil were like a couple and there was a bunch of stuff and he was like cheating on the devil. There's tons of it was a hilarious
Yeah, he
movie,
and the
right?
devil were
And
in a
so
very abusive relationship.
then in
Both
this
Saddam
episode, from what
and the
I
devil.
heard, I didn't see it, but I saw a few clips.
I saw
What I
it
heard was they basically
5 or 6 years ago, and I was watching because I'm bored. Because I'll be honest with y'all, I am not the biggest South Park fan. I will watch it
yeah,
every once in a while, but it's not really my
yeah.
cup of tea for comedy. But this most recent episode and a few episodes I found funny.
Yeah. So what they did is they had the same voice of Saddam Hussein from the movies do the Donald Trump voice. And so they basically implied that Donald Trump was like the Saddam Hussein character. And I guess they had him in bed with Satan and there was a bunch of like micro pee talk. There was a lot of they went well from what I heard and I think you watched it, Crystal. They went
Yeah,
to the
I
juggler
watched
vein.
it a couple times. The first time was to fix see what happened because people kept talking about it. The second time was to do some more analyzation, and they did a lot with this because okay, they have a thing in this episode starting with there's a character Cartman you probably know about who's a little Nazi bastard. He was upset
Yes.
because NPR got canceled because he likes mocking liberals and NPR being canceled and everybody's using the R word and other insulting things towards people is basically
Yeah.
becoming the norm. Cartman is upset by this because he is this way. Those are his beliefs, but he likes to be special, as in the sense that he's supposed to be the only one doing it or leading the way, but he's not. It's become mainstream, so he's upset, crying about how woke is dead because NPR is gone, and he's doing that. And then it goes further saying, now Jesus has come back. South Park had their serialized version of
Yeah.
Jesus. He's come and
Yep.
he's in the schools, and he's just saying random things from the Bible. And their character, Peace, called PC Principal, who was originally politically correct principal, he's changed
Yeah.
his tune now that this whole I'll say extremist version of Christianity has taken root. He's hopping on that back bandwagon, and he's
Yeah.
bringing Jesus in the school and everything. And it's like supposed to be pushing Christianity on the kids. They even did a thing with ChatGPT when one of the kids' parents was like, I don't think Jesus is supposed to be in your school. And instead of talking to his spouse, he has a long conversation with ChatGPT about it, which is a good way to
Uh,
highlight how many people are becoming reliant on that. And this is
yeah.
later followed by, okay, this is followed by later. People in the town are upset. They're trying to protest this. They contact the president, Trump. He threatens to sue them for, I think, over $1 billion. After that, they're trying to lead a protest, and Jesus comes down. He gives everybody bread, and he's mumbling, listen, eat the bread and listen to what I gotta tell you. I didn't want to go and invade the schools and, push all this stuff and try to force everybody to do all this thing. This is because of Paramount. Paramount's
Yeah.
making you do this because of a lawsuit. And if
Oh my
you don't
God.
want to get sued and lose, you need to bend the knee and stop making
Uh,
noise. So in the end,
oh
the
my
town gets
God.
scared, and they make a settlement with Trump for, I think, 3-something million, and they have to cut funding from schools and everything, but they also have to make propaganda videos praising Trump. So this is how petty. This was probably, even though I didn't want to, even though I found it gross, this was probably the pettiest thing they did after this. The propaganda video they made was an AI version of Trump dripping down
Yeah.
as he walked through the desert and continued to
Oh my.
mock his manhood as being absurdly small.
Oh my God. Oh well,
Yeah,
they so I was right. They went for the juggler.
yeah, it was petty as hell. I was here for because I was like, well, that's rather gross, but
Dude.
hey,
And what a lot of people don't know is here's the thing, and I was talking about this with my boyfriend and a few other people. I was like, clearly Paramount did not do a good risk analysis because a lot of these corporations have risk analysis teams, right? And I was saying clearly they didn't do a risk analysis before they pulled this shit to suck up to the president. If they
like
had,
literally,
it
I
would
mean,
have come up. It would have come up about South Park because South Park has been on Comedy Central for a lot of years. They were
and they
there
have
with the Daily Show, and these guys have interacted. Like if I remember, and it's been a while, one of the few shows that they've been on as the creators is the Daily Show, and during the time that Colbert was on there, so like there is at the very least a friendly relationship between these guys. They know
well,
of
it's
each
not
other.
even
They've been at the
just a
same
friendly
network.
relationship. They messed with
Yeah.
Colbert, by proxy, Jon Stewart, because you mess with Colbert,
Yep.
you're gonna mess with Jon Stewart.
Mess with John.
And
Yeah.
so
You
all
mess
of
with John.
these people have a reputation for they will go for the jugular. And Colbert said some stuff,
Yeah.
but South Park really went hardcore scorched
Oh
earth.
yeah.
And for South Park to do that, some people were surprised. And I'm like, why are you surprised?
Nope.
When in South Park's history, since the inception of that show, have they
Yep.
not proven that they are more than willing to go above and
Yep.
beyond scorched earth for whatever point they want to prove? These guys know they have a platform, they know they have an audience, they
Yep.
know they have huge influence, and they're going to use it. Be damned anybody else's opinion, they're going to do
Yep.
it. They made that clear a
And
long
the
time
thing
ago.
is, right, what I think what's interesting, and this is what I was saying, is that here's the thing: Paramount, if they had done a risk analysis, at the very least, the backlash and South Park doing it like that would have come up. You would think if that risk analysis came up of like, oh hey, if we push this domino, 20 others are gonna fall. You would think they would have thought about this. But what I really think happened, this is what I really think. This is my opinion. Opinion, piece here. Thank you. Is that I think what happened is at the White House, because of what Colbert said, and this new Paramount president, I've heard some stuff. I think the White House flipped out, because Trump will call people directly. I think Trump
True.
called the Paramount guy, was like, you just had to pay me money. You don't let me take back to court. And a deal you want ain't coming now. Like da 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 da. And so I think they hurried off. They didn't look at risk and consequence. And they thought, okay, well, if we just say we're because they don't here's the thing, I don't think they wanted to get rid of Colbert, but I think if they thought, okay, we won't just cancel Colbert because then we have to find a new host, and they knew that would be hard. So I think they went for the scorched earth tactic because I think they thought, okay, look, if we get rid of the Late Show because he's hated it for years, then he'll love us and he'll give us the deal. And I think they
Yeah,
thought,
but
oh, and
they
then
were
people
too
won't be
focused
mad
on
because
appeasing
we're
Trump.
not we're not canceling Colbert, we're canceling the show.
Marriage. Marriage is marriage is only the beginning. Wedded Bliss available now.
That's even how they worded it, was that they were getting rid of, that's even how they had him talk about it. They're getting rid of the Late Show, and not just, it wasn't just like that's what they had him directly say, by the way. If you watched his thing
Yeah.
when he talked about it, yeah. So it is, I think they thought, oh, if we just cancel the whole thing, they can't be mad about it because it's not like we're replacing him. Again, you guys were wrong and you were stupid.
But I mean, my goodness, the Late Show's been on for years. Everybody clearly loves that show. Like I said earlier, it's
Yeah.
still making the network money. If anything, it's one of the few shows that's really bringing in the bucks for them. So
Yeah.
they cost themselves a huge money maker just to appease
Yeah.
Trump. If anything, when it gets closer for Steven's time to be on the network to end, they may
Oh,
even
man.
1A because they want that money.
Well, and there's been a lot of theories about what he'll do now, and I honestly, like, my opinion. My opinion is I think he'll end up doing a podcast with Jon Stewart and like all the people. There's a lot of people,
Well,
stars,
Jon Stewart or
news
Money
media. There's a
reached out to him.
uh,
That Minus
but no.
Touch Network, they have reached out.
I think, well, I think there's probably a lot of networks who will want him, but I think that because here's the thing: if he goes out on his own with Stewart, they'll be able to make a ton of money. And everybody has always already said, the audience literally has said every night since he's been on when this got announced that they are going to follow him. They are not going to stick around. So Paramount has literally cut themselves off at the knees, and now they pissed off South Park, and obviously that episode is not going to help them at all. Like, they can't afford to cut out South Park now without really just going bankrupt. So literally,
Yeah.
you've taken one of your staples and cut it away, which is Colbert, and then you've pissed off South Park. Like, Paramount, okay, yes, it has movies, it has some good streaming contracts with Amazon and other places, but like, the amount of brand loyalty you just got rid of in a single stroke is ridiculous. Like, what? I don't understand. Like, they were just
Oh,
stupid.
I
And all
forgot one
because,
part of the pettiness, Mia.
oh, what was the video?
There
I'm
was
here for the petty.
another
Give me
piece
more
of
petty.
petty. Okay, after everything aired, everybody saw it, and Trump's thing gave their response about how South Park doesn't have a lot of viewers and mess like that
Yes.
and all that stuff. The
Yeah.
creators, I believe their names are Matt and Trey at the Comic-Con,
Yeah.
were asked, do they feel bad about what they did and all
Oh,
that?
no.
And one of them said, oh, we are so sorry about that.
Man, I
So,
love those guys. They had been petty for years.
yeah, so I could tell from that reaction, that's probably may not even be the worst things they're plotting to do to him. Because I think also,
Oh,
I don't think it's just because of Colbert and other stuff. I don't think it's just because of the deal. I think they're also aggravated because media is being silent. Satire is
it is.
being silent. If we can't
Yeah.
make fun of politicians, because, okay, I'm going to say this, I'm not a fan of President Bush. I never was, but I
Yeah.
will say this about him. He didn't whine like a little bitch every time somebody made fun of him.
I know.
We made
Well,
fun
I
of
mean,
him on
look at what they're
wholesale. I didn't
doing.
try to take all the networks down.
Well, look at what they're doing to NPR and fucking PBS. Like, you
Yeah.
are destroying educational programs and some of the most neutral news that actually has been really nice to you because you're mad at Sesame Street. Like, all of these problems he has. And I'm just like, here's the thing. He has been a news figure for years. Like, Donald Trump has been in the news for years, and all these people who want to pretend that like they don't know anything about him, the man has lived his life in public. So how are you going to be upset because people are like, according to you, like a while ago, it was funny when he had his senses with him, right? Because he's always had a thin skin. But there was a time, and I on it, like I said, this is why I think he has dementia because there was a time when he would sometimes pretend to laugh at it, even though like behind the scenes you heard he was mad, but he would still
Well,
pretend
yeah,
because he
people
knew,
harping on President
But
Obama
now.
freeze that man's head, especially probably because he made fun of him.
But here's the thing is that I think because he does have this, I honestly, I'm not playing, I'm not kidding. I really do think he has a mental disorder. Whatever it is,
Well, yeah,
it's
that's
gotten worse. right?
Definitely.
And I
Well,
think
we're going to say he
that
has an
because we
alleged mental disorder, but yeah, agree with you. That's what.
allegedly, you're right. I forgot the allegedly, Crystal. You caught me. Allegedly, he used to be able to take a joke at himself. It seems like now he literally has convinced himself that he's some kind of like supreme god dictator. And so now you only can say good things. You can't talk bad because how will you know he's supreme god dictator if people are making fun of him? Like it is the most shameful stuff in our country. I've like the fact that you as the president give a fuck what a late night news host says or what a comedy show. Like, are you for real? Are you? Don't you have more important? Like, our country is having some serious fucking problems right now. Do you not give a fuck
Yeah,
for like?
infrastructure is crumbling.
Yes,
Education's not good. There are a
yep,
lot of times we have people, there are
nothing.
aid stuff. We have food literally rotting that we could even, feed people and send
Yeah,
it overseas to feed people. And, people are starving. He wants to go, instead, he's more concerned with going to Scotland to try to golf
yeah.
than solving
Oh, and they're
anything and fighting
protesting.
with a late night funny man.
Scotland is literally what I just heard from a friend of mine who's in England is that Scotland is literally having like daily protests, like hourly protests because he is there.
They
They
are.
do
And
not
actually,
want him there.
the protest is so loud, Trump's aides started playing music very loudly so he couldn't hear it because the
Oh my
protesters
god.
are close and they are shouting at the top of the lungs, get the freak out of their country.
Who can blame them? I mean, I told my
Yep.
English friend though, Crystal, Jack Amory, who's an author, and you should definitely check out her stuff. It's very spicy, and she's on our list to be interviewed, by the way, also. So shout out to her.
Yep.
It was very. I was telling her, I was like, oh, I was like, what? Why don't you guys just keep him for a while? Just keep him over there. You don't need to send him back. She was like, I don't think they'd agree to that. I'm like, damn it, attempt foiled.
I know. I was talking to another author, I think she's in New Zealand. I can't think of her name right now. It's going to come to me as soon as we get off the podcast.
Of
But
course.
she was complaining about how much Trump's bullshit has started raising the price of things in their country, and they want the orange man gone now.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Anyways, we do have to wrap this up. I wish we didn't because we could talk about this for 10 years. But we
And
do
we'll
have to
probably
wrap this
bring it up
up.
later when they do something
Oh
else
yeah,
petty.
yeah, we're definitely gonna have some petty more episodes because
Yeah,
I'm
but
feeling
dearies,
super
if
petty
you
with
haven't
everything.
watched the South Park episode, watch it because
Yes,
I really feel like it makes a very good point.
and if you
It's
haven't
petty, but there's
supported
so much good.
Colbert, keep an eye on what he's doing because go follow his Twitter, go see what he's going to be doing because of course we want to support our Colbert. And we are probably going to be doing a book talk episode next time. And one of the topics we'll be talking about is the feral fans of narrators. That's going to be a topic, people, because book talk,
Yeah,
we
which
got
is
to
a
talk.
problem.
We got to talk
That's a
book
very
talk.
bad
We're
problem.
going to have at home talk with your Auntie Crystal and your Auntie Mia because no.
There are some things you just don't do to people.
Exactly. Oh, great, you guys. But we love you. Please like, please subscribe. Please keep
Yes, like,
coming back.
comment, and
We
subscribe,
have,
dearies.
yeah, we have Mama D's interview that we will be uploading. We have definitely book talk and political episodes coming. So just stay tuned. We love you and we hope you have a wonderful day.
Bye bye.
Bye.